gonna go into a little bit of Dakini teachings. One of the main things we can learn from Dakini's teaching is this. You can say gender, passion, and feeling in the body. Right now, you just connected already. But those subjects are considered to be not the public teaching, so to speak, more experiential, direct transmission, you can say. Tantric Buddhism shares its ethical and philosophical principle with Mahayana Buddhism, as you know. I just have to kind of upload a little bit because we have some idea about the tantric practice, something very different from this entire context of Buddhism or or this monastic discipline or whatever. I just want to briefly place the tantric Buddhism in a wider context of Mahayana. While the distinguishing features of tradition occurred in the area of symbols and ritual. Many of you already know because you practice rituals. Most notably in the inclusion of this intimacy, sexuality, gender, and embodiment as path of liberation. That may be unique to Tantric Buddhism, differentiate the Tantric Buddhism from general Mahayana Buddhism. Okay, so let's start with gender. What the significance of gender? What to do with gender in the context of Dakini's teaching? So this I like the one-liner. It's not that the Dakini is part of woman. It is that woman is part of Dakini. I'm gonna repeat because this is very important. It's not that the Dakini is part of women. It is that woman is part of Dakini. What's the implication of that statement? The notion of Dakini is much bigger and fundamentally it's bigger than this idea of men and women. Men and women's bodies are emanation of the fundamental dynamic of the universe without gender. Men and women's body are emanation of the fundamental dynamic of the universe without gender. In that case, here I see this male body, I can see chunk of body here, could be Dakinis. This idea of emptiness we are talking about, right? Dakini is always pointing out the wisdom of emptiness. Dakini represents the emptiness, wisdom of emptiness. That's the kind of baseline you can say. So if emptiness ever took form, emptiness doesn't have a form, right? But if emptiness ever took form, it would take form of a shape of woman in general, female form. Then skillful means, so emptiness and skillful means, wisdom and skillful means, right? Two wings of the, you can say two weapons of the bodhisattva. If the skillful means and the compassion ever took form, it would take form of male body. Female and males are the expression, and then we can reverse the ego clinging, thinking about the body, fixating to the body that is ours. Fixation to gender is strong in this time. Here, Dakini's teaching comes in. Dakini's teaching is helpful to relax our ego investment, self-identity wise. So in terms of classical teaching, it said that the woman has the potential to intuitively understand emptiness, more easily than men, on the condition that they tame genuinely emotions with right motivation because of female body, in the virtue of having a female body. You know what I mean? So, but you have to listen to this part, condition. On the condition that they are able to tame, control genuinely emotions with right motivation. So we have to have a right motivation. We have to have a capacity to really not drowning on these mundane emotionalities. We have to have a capacity to, like a shamatha, for example. We have to have this capacity to tame or in charge of emotions. That's classical way to express. Female has some more tendency to drowning into that emotionality or something. But anyway, the men are compassion. It is said men has a potential actually to actualize compassion. I don't know whether it's true or not, but that's how the classical text explains it. In terms of subtle body levels, so sensation, perception, we went to that sense perception. All of us has masculine and female energies, two kind of energies we all possess, regardless female body or male body. We all have that. So fiery aspect, a cooler aspect. Fiery is more like a female aspect, tumo. In Tibetan tradition, we talk about. And the cooler aspect, or this one is the male, steady, grand energy. It permeating energy, female, while the cooling energy, male, unifying male energies. So those are kind of unified in the subtle body level. So basically unifying the sharpness of female or wisdom of emptiness, you can cutting aspect. See, all these dakinis hold either a carved knife or some kind of weapons to cut through conceptuality, cut through ego grasping, which is the root of all the branches of the concept and the problem and the pains and everything. Yeah. So that's a subtle body, right? Part of practice for us to balance both blending energies. We both have that. But then we solidify it and then we imbalance, unifying sharpness of female and the steadiness of male and bringing balance to them is one of the Vajrayana practice. So that's the kind of one of the purposes for the Vajrayana practices. While we are appreciating the difference, we are not doing the mishmash, we are not like that. We are completely appreciating this difference, a different energy. But then also we are bringing a balance to them, balance to within ourselves. Maybe that's the first step. Then bring balance to the world. Any kind of aspect of the so-called world, phenomena, or politics, or whatever, or nature, your relation to nature, little bit imbalance, not a little bit, maybe too late, but then we need to really bring it to balance, more aware. Start with awareness within. We talked about, this might be a little bit review, but Judith Brown, this the author of this text, Dakini's One Breath, classify, bring it, not her idea, but she researched, then brought the 4 categories of Dakinis. There are many ways to classify the Dakinis. Dakini has a multi-dimensional qualities. Then the deepest one is what is it? That's the deepest dimension, who and what you are. That's Hatharest one. The second one is the Dakinis appeared in visions or dreams, meeting Dakinis, some kind of form in the visions. Or visualization, your practice, like 5 Dakini practice you do. Those are all the Sambhogaya Kaya forms, so to speak. Mm. Those are the second dimension. Then the third dimension is outer Dakini, which we talked a little bit about last week. Outer Dakini, the subtle body of bliss, our energetic subtle body. That is Dakinis, this sacred landscape of subtle body. If we go into deeper in the tantric practice, completion stage, even in the level of generation stage, we visualize this level of Dakinis inside, tip of the channels, this nadi, and the tip of the nadi. So of course, depends on what kind of practice you do. All these practices to connect the inner energies, subtle body energies, bring a vital breath of tantric yogas, then embody it. Okay, so that's a little bit of outer Dakini. The last one, or the fourth one, is called the outer Dakinis. We are now talking about the Dakinis in human form. You can see outer form, human Dakini in the world. Of course, this has many different categories as well. Awakened human Dakinis or non-awakened human Dakinis. So then a story of women in our own time, this time, contemporary time, who embody the Dakinis principles. There are so many different stories. It's not about only the ancient stories. Right now, here, Dakinis exist here in a human home. For example, she talks about the 5 categories. First one is the reincarnated Dakinis, which is, reincarnation. So takes the female form on purpose to benefit all beings. Sometimes called Rinpoche or Tulkus. Often we think that is male, but we see, especially nowadays, there are quite a number of female Rinpoches, female reincarnated Dakinis we see. So that's one type of Dakinis. Then the second type is a female tantric gurus, teachers. So powerful teachers of, for example, meditation or bestowing empowerment, or those gurus and teachers. So Dakini takes a home, female home, as teachers, gurus. Then third one, this is an interesting one, embodied Dakinis as a practice and the realization, accomplished female practice. So whoever practice Vajrayana on authentic path, then started to have this realization or experiences. In other words, a Dakini in her own right. It's not somebody or reincarnated under the name of this, blah, blah. No, become a Dakinis because of her effort and practice and realization. Outstanding female or male practitioner. See, this is what I'm talking about, beyond gender. Practitioner to denote the enlightened female principles of non-dualities, which transcend genders. Okay, so this third category includes the male. It doesn't matter, male and female practitioners who embody the female principle of non-dualities, which transcend gender. Then fourth one is the Karma Mudra. You might heard about this. Often this part is quite emphasized and the people kind of pay attention. Sexual yoga and the Dakinis. A consort, for example, consort or partner of a yogi or Mahasiddha. Consort of great masters and great gurus consort. So those are called Karma Mudra. So the cooperation of Dakini in the role of consort and companion is considered essential in certain form of liberatory and other tantric practices. This is a quote I think quote from Dalai Lama. To certain stages of tantric practice, completion stage, then we need to take a consult. So it's called consult practice. Then this Karma Mudra is the one, Dakinis, manifest as a Karma Mudra, play the role of a consult of great practitioners. But to become a Karma Mudra, have to have certain qualities required, same levels, almost same level of realization as the guru's partner. So guru pick or the dreams a certain way, then identify the consort. Not just the guru's partner or student or whoever that doesn't become a Dakinis. You know what I mean? Yeah, so this is the classical way to describe. Then fifth one, every woman is part of Dakini, just having the female body. By virtue of having a female body, all women are seen as some kind of Dakini manifestation. Awaken, unawaken, worldly or wisdom, both. Wisdom Dakinis means wisdom who realize the emptiness. Wisdom Dakini, awakened Dakinis, or worldly Dakinis. So both, even worldly Dakini has a supernatural power. So those are called Dakinis.